Done. Belong to all the Moors online. Peace and love. Yeah, if we could get everybody just rise, we'll just get the prayer done. 5 on the left, 2 on the right, face the east. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Noble Ali. Islam. Yes, sir. So today's class, we're just gonna answer some questions as well. To start off, we're just gonna watch this video. It's only 7 minutes. Talking about CNN crisis actor exposed. If you've never seen it.
Oh, I thought that
There's a few things in here that we'll talk Bill about after. But we'll just get this thing started up and go from there.
John is joining us now live from Tourism. If you got that time, the new Constitution is on to be. people. They go, they go, just about every sheriff will do. The one that is like hundreds of thousands of the only is a super. They exceed you in numbers. Incidentally, there's a book out that's I think we're about to get arrested because
the new Black Panthers over there, and they have agents, undercover agents that are in the
Called police agents?
yeah that are acting as Black Panthers.
Oh, the people walking with the guns on the street.
And they're saying shoot, and they're trying to let the people say kill the cop, kill that cop, kill that cop, and everything, right? So by the time he busts the gun in the air, the cops are saying, okay, shoot everybody, because they it's a setup, right? They send for the agent to go in and make it seem like the people are in violence.
Y'all see those two Moors in the video?
Yeah.
Agent. What? Agent. So even like those pictures of those Moors when the first rallies and protests were going on, when they had like the Moors in the front, and it was like the Moor right there telling the police like, stay back and stuff. Those are agents.
Fake.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking that too, though. I was thinking that too. I was like, yo, Moor protesting.
Yeah, we don't do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Because
They'll break it down.
And then people get a negative reaction.
Right.
Yeah.
Also too, remember that a lot of Moors take the position that they'll go down there for moral support, right? So it might not be complete agents down there because there's Moors who we know went down there,
Yeah.
but they weren't down there in front of no cameras parading. They were down there on the one-way talking to the people, letting the people know what's going down with regard to this thing or whatever, right?
Well, I see them making up, trying to get Jackson the hell out of here.
Yeah.
I seen that too,
Yeah.
I like that part.
Right? So something's going on, but then, if they're going to chase Jesse Jackson and not chase Al Sharpton,
Oh, Al Sharpton speaking for
you're
him
not
now?
chasing nobody.
No,
Sent somebody.
Sharpton sent somebody.
Oh,
He wasn't there himself.
But they were representing.
Yeah,
they were, right?
Good. I saw Europeans saying, yo, so you're a snitch?
Yeah.
That's exposure.
Yeah.
Good, man.
But then again, we have that thing that, blacks don't read. So they don't know nothing about Al Sharpton and him being a snitch and all that. Yeah, that's not where they are in their mind. If they're gonna kick Jesse Jackson, if they're gonna tell that guy you can't come around here, but they're gonna let Al Sharpton come around,
Same thing.
They don't know what they're talking about.
And they never just go there for ask for donations.
Yeah.
Ask for
Right.
donations?
Go in there and ask for
Yeah.
donations.
Right?
That's crazy.
For his whatever he's starting on.
The
Right?
cult.
You know? But in that video, well, let's just outline some things that the Moors picked up on in the video, whether it's that the so-called officer was talking about, or imagery or whatever. We'll just throw some stuff up.
Distractions.
Hmm?
Distractions.
You can name some?
He said,
Ukraine?
Ukraine, yeah.
Distraction. So, Ukraine, other. Right? So we'll notice, and I'm sure that we've already noticed that when something goes on in the news, if it's gonna be able to distract the people, right? If the event is able to distract the people, then you'll see repetitious play of it. You know what I mean? Over and over. Same stuff maybe like 5, 6, 7 times in an hour or whatever. Right? The playing the loops over and over again. These particular loops over and over again. What else do we have?
I remember watching that news, like,
Yeah.
when it happened, I remember watching
Yeah.
the same situation like
Right.
black and white
Lemon.
Fact.
Right? Other than distractions, what else we got?
You mean from that whole?
Yeah, from that whole, the whole.
Plain sight, they're gonna start killing people.
Right?
Yeah.
Diversion.
Yeah.
Man decide he might not get decided next time.
Right?
And pretty much let you know, I'm occupied by military right now. Or military occupation. Yeah. Tired of it.
Yeah, so the army owns you.
And when they go to the feds, they get brainwashed, come back.
Yeah,
Go to the
exactly.
feds and come back brainwashed.
All the chiefs that go from that
Brainwashing.
Yeah, brainwash.
Feds.
There's a war against Muslims.
It's a culture of people altogether because it's not just us they're targeting now. It's everybody. You go on the internet now and you see Mexicans, like Spanish and all this kind of thing. Mexican people, you see there's a few white and then killing and abusing nowadays too. And other cultures too. They have Chinese and things like that, right?
So,
Yo, you see, but hey, you see, like, she's not ignorant that man is. He still knows knowledge. Because for him to come out and say, only people go to the Sufis. What do you know about the Sufis?
right. The
It's not a regular word.
The Sunnis. It was
He
Sunnis.
said the Sufis.
No, he said Sufi. Though.
Sufi, you said?
Yeah, he said those are the
Only peace, passive. But
Yeah.
That's not a word that some people know. What's a Sufi?
Right.
That's not a regular word on people's mouth.
It's not like a higher consciousness.
Yeah, well, Sufi is like the esoteric of
It's not nationality.
No, it's not a nationality.
No, it's just a degree.
No,
Yeah,
those
degree,
are
yeah,
the
exactly.
knowledge. They want to know the Quran back of their mind.
Yeah, but if he said Sufi, the reality of the Sufi is that he's talking about dark skinned conscious people. Right? Because in the tradition of Islam, the Sufis are known as the ones over there nobody deals with because they're on such a level that nobody can touch that. That's Shiite, Sunni, whatever of the denomination.
But they're not.
Of
There's a
Islam,
lot of
right?
Sufis in Africa too.
Right. But remember that it's a degree of knowledge, just like
And they wear a fez.
yeah, just like
but not with a
right with the
not
tassel,
with a
right? Just like in masonry, right? Just like in masonry, they got 96 degrees in masonry. People think 33 is where it's done at, right? But only the ones who are elevating on that level are gonna have that knowledge of that degree.
So that's
Just
why
like the
you're a Shriner?
Sufism, like, huh?
That's how you're in a Shriner?
Yeah.
Yeah, oh yeah,
Try
oh yeah,
something.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
And you feel
You can go behind that.
right? So, we actually, with regard to, since you brought that up, one of the questions from today was, are more Shriners, right? When if we look at, um, fraternal organization from, like school or whatever, Phi Alpha and all that, whatever, um, uh, so-called police association, even church, things, things of those nature. Those are, like, like lodges, right? Right? Teachers, you know what I mean? They have their little group, unions or whatever like that. They have their little crew that only they deal with whatever they deal with, and you have to be a member in order to be done with that, right? From a masonry perspective, that doesn't have anything to do with Moors, because Shriners are some Europeans who were taught by Moors, and that's the secret of this society.
Wasn't the Shriner started like the 18...
Yeah, 18 something.
1850 something,
Right? And also too, that the connection that people always make to Moors and Shriners is because of the Fez. And the absent-mindedness of the people who don't have knowledge of that to talk about stuff and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. No different than people going down, we're gonna go Ferguson to march whatever for our people or whatever like that. When Europeans telling you, come out here, we're killing people. Like we're not out here just, you know what I mean, in some uniform directing traffic. We're actually putting our operation in place right now. So when it's time to do whatever we do, get the hell out of here. Laying it down. Yeah, bro.
Yes, pertaining to within Shriners and us being Moors and everything like that. There was a name that a constable called me. He called me if I was a lamb.
A lamb?
Yes.
Okay, the idea is that the war right now is between the lion and the lamb, Masonically, right? The lamb, the lamb represents the four righteous teachers, and the lion represents the elite, right? So, lamb goes back to the same situation with the brother saying that the Sufis are passive, because the lamb is passive. You have to poke the lamb and it's going to go do something, right? The lion is king of the jungle, so he doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. Everybody already knows what's up, right? So the symbology is that, we can look at it two ways, right? One way you could look at it is from the perspective of him recognizing that you're a poor righteous teacher, right? That you don't have um, the callous disregard for morals, and you have a brain in your head, whatever or you're not, nigger out here. Something's different about you if he's gonna identify you as a lamb, right? You know what I mean?
That just happened on Friday night.
Right. So what we don't realize is that when we start getting into more science and studying this information, it literally changes your energy. And people who've been studying this for however long, they see you coming from way over there and no. You know what I mean? Nah, we're not gonna mess with him, or let's mess with him. You know what I'm saying? Right? Now, you mentioned that they brainwash their own, right? You mentioned that now he's on the level that he has, and he's admitting that he's owned by the army. At that level, he's letting people know. So once you get into this jurisdiction right here, you become property of, right? There's no going to the army and you're a soldier fighting for your country and all that. That's not what's going on, right? Everything that we see, we talked about before, everything that we see, U.S. Army, U.S. Navy, U.S. whatever. Anything it is, it's always U.S. in front of it.
So there's no such thing as American military?
Right. Doesn't exist. Right? Because if there's an American military, it's ours. Right? Actually, which goes to another one of the questions. How do I gain my name and operate in my sovereign state? And how do we capitalize on birthrights as a unit? So the concept of proclaiming our nationality is what's going to give us the capitalization, because nationality, if we take nationality and polarize it, it becomes a force that we can use for anything that's a challenge to us, right? Any and everything. If we use it as what it is, which is unity, right? Just like everybody else, like we talk about. We all know about the Sri Lankans and shutting down the garner. No fire hoses, no ass kickings, no pulling people over the thing, no nothing. No rubber bullets, no sound devices, no nothing. No dogs, just police chilling, waiting for whoever to give them the permission to move the gates or whatever. There's nothing going on as far as those people getting their rights abused. Why? Because they're nationals, right? Yes, they come from another country and they come here and they perform a process of becoming a citizen of Canada, but Canada's a corporation. So automatically they go back to their original nation.
So how come China's not a corporation? Or is China a corporation? Or should I?
Well, to a degree, yeah,
Yeah.
right? Because what identifies whether it's a corporation is the name and the name prior. So like if we look at we use ones like India, you know that's corporate, and
So
then Hindustan is the original name, right? If we say even if we say West Indies, we could say Atlantis Islands, and it would have more of a footing when we're using it, opposed to saying West Indies, right?
So China and them, like, or like any Asian or Oriental country, they don't have like birth certificates,
They might not.
or is it just birth records?
If they have oh yeah, if they have
They're being corporatized too.
For China, right?
Yeah, all of them. Because all the countries are Chinese corporations.
So what countries aren't corporations?
hold on, we'll bring that up again. Hold on.
Where? North Africa?
Like if we look at it like just like there was no constitution. Nobody had constitutions until United States of America Constitution. And that's the foundation of constitution. As far as a written document being put down, we're not talking about, treaties and stuff like that that nations have with each other. Right? We're talking about nations saying that I'm a nation, and since I'm a nation, these are the laws that govern the nation that we represent or we're part of or etc. Everybody took that as the template to make their stuff. As far as constitution, right? So, when we look at birth certificates, what created birth certificates? All those slave whatever. You know what I mean? What created licenses? All those slave stuff that slave had to have to go over there. He needed a license to go and
I'm
whatever.
pretty sure you never need a license to ride a horse.
To ride a horse, right? Even if we look at again nationhood, Punjabis don't wear no helmet over their turban. You
Exactly.
know what I mean? They get to ride without a helmet.
And you want to join the police force?
Yeah, they get to
Shit,
move without a helmet.
Oh, it's stopping that?
Yeah, they have to wear a helmet now.
Wait, so that means Indian people can't be policemen.
They just can't do motorcycle use.
Oh.
And they're allowed to walk through this night.
Yeah, they're allowed to walk on their
Dagger.
dagger.
And the dagger is things from like they fought for that right since the 90s or whatever.
And they fought for the stamp
You know
too.
what I mean? Yeah. They fought for that right to do that. But then that's what like even when we when Hidden Colors 3 and they were talking about in order to have politicians influence you, you should be giving them checks. Forget voting. Buy a politician. That's what everybody else is doing in order to get whatever they want for their community or whatever. They buy a politician. Oh yeah, you running for the thing, all right. Slide them a check. Right? All of them. That's just and it only hit me because I was watching it. You know what I mean?
That's what Grant
Right?
Yeah,
That's what and that's how they're doing it.
and I'm not even mad at them either.
Yeah,
They
can't
own all
be.
the grocery stores, all the
Can't
plaza. The only thing they don't own is the gas station.
Yeah.
And even then, some of them
Yeah,
own the
even
gas
some of them
station.
own the gas
You
station.
don't
They do.
even pizza. Italians don't make pizza no
Right.
more.
Yeah, even that. You know what I mean? Right? And it's a theme. But what our people aren't analyzing what's happening is that they're getting pushed out of the way. They're becoming obsolete. That's why, you can shoot them up or choke the guy out on the corner and it's not no big deal because what's your status? You know what I mean?
Civil rights.
And if your status is civil rights and that's what you're marching for, then they got 1.6 billion hollow point bullets free. You know what I mean? That's real that they're dealing with that. That's not even something that they're not doing.
Yeah, companies TTS is making their bullets.
Yeah,
So
right. And then that's what we're saying with the Moors that we have a right to bear arms, but if you can't buy no ammunition, what do you do with guns and stuff like that? You know what I mean?
I like the brothers over there in Las Vegas though. They came and they stood up for the people.
Yeah.
They had everybody showed up with all their guns on the other side. Right there, and they said, listen, if you don't, basically the guns are talking to you,
Right.
right? Listen, please, have to
Right?
The Black Panthers and the guns, right?
No,
there's
there's
people,
some
just
Europeans
people.
or something like that.
Oh, what? Oh,
Yeah, in Las Vegas.
People together. It's
Yeah.
people together.
Oh, like,
Remember
all
that
colors,
no
or
color, anything
not
like
colors,
that.
but all
It's
nationalities.
all type of people where it came with all the guns and everything. It wasn't just Europeans.
I know about Mandelos who probably, went forth towards that.
Yeah, but they're standing up for the people.
There are enough militia groups with the Europeans.
Yeah,
you know,
the,
they have
the police or the constables, everybody, whatever, right? They're coming to kill the people. So people were like sick enough of seeing this, So they came with all their ammunition and all their bulletproof vests and everything, whatever, and showed up for the people. So togetherness is something that we also need too, right?
Right.
I think two of these videos, right? How you have this gentleman talking about corruption,
Yeah.
army, martial law. What I've noticed, or watching tons of videos on YouTube, it's almost like a fear mongering that they do.
Yeah.
Right? So when you go to sleep, when you go to rest, or sorry, your quickened state, right? And you're thinking, okay, this shit might happen tomorrow, this shit might happen a year or so. It puts all your chakras off balance.
Right.
Because you're thinking.
Because you're putting. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like Alex Jones. If you watch Alex Jones.
Right.
He has a ton of information. But if all this information is, this is what they're going to do to you.
Yeah.
Shock
you. Yeah.
Oh, your head is just filled with like, fuck, yo.
do I
go to
do?
the store,
Yeah.
buy tons of water.
Yeah.
Because it's just going to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And it feels the same. Like, it feels like they mix the truth in with the lies. Like
Yeah.
how we were talking last week, too, right? So it's like, but it's more to get your head.
Yeah, it's for you. Yeah, it's for, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're coming to kill you, and we're coming to kill you, and all of these skits that they show on CNN too.
Yeah.
It's like even showed a thing where like on CNN now was it the store clerk or someone that owns the store or something like that. Well, it came out that man in the video taking the cigars is not the youth that they killed. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And after as the man is breaking down why it's not the youth, literally the thing just goes, the screen mashes up, and after just I think we just lost the interview. Literally just moved on, and literally just moved on.
And
So it
now
wasn't-
you
it
talk
wasn't
about
Look
it.
that
Yeah.
up on YouTube
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
I was watching that
You
story.
seen that too then,
I was
right?
watching the story, but I didn't know it wasn't
Screen
him.
just mash up. The
Right.
man was talking how that Mike Brownie, that wasn't the Mike Brownie that stole the cigars.
Right.
See? And after, I think it was a store clerk still. The store clerk was saying that wasn't him. And after, they just cut the man off
And
just like
the
that.
lawyer confirmed that. He goes, yeah, it wasn't. But, a man did walk into the store, and I'm like, okay, you're married now? Like, that's on a video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, it's just a contrast.
Right. And if we check backtrack with other situations with other nations, you don't see those stuff going on. It don't happen. Where all of a sudden they got a video about the guy stole something, and then it's not the guy. And you don't see that happening when there's you don't see everything that's going on with us. You don't see happening with other people. They're not going out there marching and picketing, for civil rights or nothing like that. They're most of the times when they're picketing, it's for some human rights issue. You know what I mean? It's for some fraudulent government takeover that they're against, right? But they don't do civil rights. Actually, let's put that out there too, just so.
So what's the definition of civil rights?
Yeah, we're gonna go there right now.
What is it?
Fighting for civility.
And that must come from the word.
So fighting to be civilized?
All right. So this is Moore's Order of the Round Table, Civic Lesson number 5, Chapter 7. Civil Rights and Civil Liberties, Pawns of Alien Politics. Civil rights as it relates to the debased level of civilization in the Republic of the United States of America is one of the most controversial and troubling issues in all modern world civics, law, and social intercourse. Civil rights is in a more proper sense, civil liberties treats the issue of rights, liberties, immunities, privileges, and protections of the sovereign right of the people, or, in the contractual sense, the citizens of a nation, state, association, or political body. Civil rights at law usually brings to mind the attempts on many fronts and angles by the United States colonial government and the several states to deal with the degenerating and anti-sovereign problems of the dark and light olive subjugated slaves labeled black, Negro, colored, etc., and their progeny. The Civil Rights Act of 1866 to 1868 is feigned cover-up, devoid at law piece of legislation. It is unconstitutional and devoid of sovereign law. Indeed, it is a diversion of the true problem which faced the United States colonial society. That problem is United States colony. That problem being the fact that the European companies, states, in conspiracy, robbed and enslaved the Moors, called Negro, Black, Colored, Afro, etc., in the slave state of their birthrights and sovereignty. The colonial states, colonial companies of European guilds, occupying the Americas, styled and chartered as United States of America, introduced through their Congress and established the Freedmen's Bureau in the year 1865. 1865 is the beginning of the 12 years of the Reconstruction period, 1865 to 1877. The following year, in March 1866, the Congress introduced the Civil Rights Bill. This bill was and still is used as a political pacification and placation tool to cover up the lack of sovereignty problems which plagued the famed as free slaves, devastating their families economically and socially. The Civil Rights Bill also allowed colonists to feel comfortable in maintaining the pompous position of having freed the slaves while maintaining total control of their labor through false citizenship and using the non...
Islam.
Peace, more. All right, yo. Peace. The Civil Rights Bill also allowed control of their labor through false citizenship and using the non-mutual citizen position of the slaves as a limitless tax base, thus bureaucratizing slavery. Andrew Jackson in 1808 to 1875 was president of the Union States at the time of the Freedmen's Bureau Bill and the Civil Rights Bill. The Civil Rights Bill was passed April 9, 1866. In spite of being ex post facto in nature and contrary to the organic Constitution of the United States of America, much opposition, strife, and violence became a common part of the Union State society, history, and social fabric because the civil rights false laws. That condition continues even until present day. The Civil Rights Bill conferred citizenship on slaves without their mutuality or their right to vote. Many European state citizens held the position that if the false freed slaves ever acquired the privilege to vote, that would always be thus. States, plans, vow. Niggers might vote using our names, but we will always be the ones to count the vote. Our names, our vote, our property, our sovereignty, and authority. So that's the perspective that Europeans and other people have of unconscious Moors claiming to fight for civil rights and fight for unconstitutional acts to give them some granted privileges when they have rights that they can go to, that they don't go to and they don't talk about, because majority of the times they have somebody talking for them, and majority of the times the person talking for them is a lawyer, just like Malik Zulu Shabazz will come out and get the megaphone, get people to move over here and stuff like that, because he's the officer of the court. And his duty is to make sure that the shadow property of the U.S. corporation don't get run over in the street or whatever, because those bonds are still active. So get them out the street and put them in a little parking lot so they can march, picket, do whatever they want over here. Because that's the job of the overseer. The job of the overseer is to make sure that the so-called slave doesn't get, abused, violated, broken, or whatever, once it's in the jurisdiction of a slave master. And at this point, the U.S. democracy is the plantation. Canada's the plantation, India's the plantation, China's the plantation, the islands plantations, right? And then you have these international bankers who are very familiar with constitutional law, treaty law, international law, whatever else. using the fact that these people are stateless and fighting for civil whatever to found organizations like IMF to go in there and take all their stuff under the guise of, yeah, we're helping you because you're third world or whatever, and we can assist you because we got the money right here, and we're just going to give you this grant that'll help you get out of all your debt that you have with all these other people. But now you have debt with these guys who aren't really going with constitutional authority of how to take care of debts. So they're giving people fiat, credit, loans or whatever like that, which is just adding on to the debt. Constantly adding on to the debt. So when we have situations like this happen, and you see the appearance of Moors there, yeah, it's good, but in times of crisis or emotionalism or whatever, with Negro, black, colored people, you're not convincing them that they're not black people. You're not convincing them that, the real people who are violating the law is you guys by being out here stateless, and everybody's holding up signs or whatever. Nobody has a flag out here to represent whatever nation that you guys represent, right? Nobody has any type of national insignia, right? If we use the Gardner Sri Lankan thing as an example, right? You never see none of them rolling those signs about, help our people and stuff like that. Everybody was flying a flag. Whether it was a Canadian flag, because they'll show the allegiance in order to be able to have that space so that they can do whatever that they want to do, right? And they show allegiance to their home nation. Yeah, Gardner.
And it's like stop traffic.
Gardner Expressway, yeah. Rush
How
hour.
did they do that?
Anyhow, they walk.
So like literally
Like literally, thousands of people just,
That's
and
together.
then stop
I mean, that is sick.
stop in the
No,
street.
yeah,
Yeah, they were protesting
for
from
universities for a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And then the final straws, they went on the garden.
There's
Nobody
no
stopped.
fear, and that's togetherness.
Right?
That's even try to stop.
That's the power.
So like people were late for work or wherever they're going.
Yeah, wherever they're going.
Walk, you can't
No
run.
questions. No questions. No anything. They just let them do it. No questions whatsoever.
They know their nationality.
Right?
They stated their things already. But I've already seen they're that organized, and the Chinese, they're that organized because they have a city. No, they actually have a city. One off of airport is a Chinese one.
When you're trying to tell me.
No. City. Like if you see like the old colorful movies and stuff, those houses with the gold on top, they have it going straight up Airport Road, and just before 89, Road 89.
Where like Brampton, Mississauga?
Going towards Caledon. Okay, they have a city. If you go just before Road 89, you go to say whatever.
Yeah.
On the right hand side is a big laid out city like that. I mean, huge.
Like on to Once Upon a Time in China type
Yeah.
of
You
thing.
seen that?
It's true. They
You seen
bought
that one,
it.
right?
No, I heard about that. They bought some land and they're gonna turn a pure China people out of it. Everything.
Yeah.
like
Oh, they
China.
built it already.
They
It's just gonna
built
get
it
bigger
already.
and bigger and bigger.
They're gonna get
Right?
bigger
And then they have the
bigger.
Indian one going on in Guelph. You can't really see it if you're driving in like a car or whatever, but if you go on like the Go bus, whatever, with your friends, whatever, it's huge.
No,
All you
no,
see
no,
is the
but
gate.
remember they say China bought Canada, China owned
If you
Yeah.
see them places there, whatever, it looks like. Trust me, it really
But
looks
that's the reality of what's going
of
on.
everything, yes.
You know what I
Canada.
mean?
China, this is the new China.
So China has
Yeah.
a Chinatown and a
But remember that the reason it's just like them
Oh,
going
yeah,
into just like them going into South Africa to go in the mines and steal gold or whatever, and South Africans are complaining all the Chinese people coming here because they got jurisdiction there too, right? They came over here on the Bering Strait before Europeans came over here, and then if we're the ones that aren't standing up, the next person is lying is them.
You're
That's
standing
true.
up.
That doesn't make sense.
They're the next ones in line. As far as the
because they're the second
bloodline,
ones
the lineage.
to come on the land.
On the land.
So if the original people who were in the land
Land.
aren't saying nothing,
Yes.
they want to be Negro, black, colored people. All right, then they just shoot those guys over here, right? And then everybody else make a claim. And then some people claim a little whatever, Turkish people claim a little thing right there. You know what I mean? Scandinavian people, they claim their little whatever, Black people, they don't know what they want. They're all over the place, right? And then, whoever else comes and they claim a little portion over there. And then these guys come, they go to Caledon or whatever, set up there, whatever they set up. I mean, that's how real it is. You know what I mean? That's how real it is. And the point of the matter is that we have taken the position of accepting that, we don't have a nationality or something, but everybody else does. But we just don't, for some reason, we don't have one.
There's lots of money.
Right, and everybody else has one. And we don't want to recognize that everybody else has one. Right? I mean, we're beginning to recognize, because, Moors waking up all the time right now. You know what I mean?
People
It's,
see you and then they'll leave an app.
right.
Like that.
They'll question things, you know what I mean?
Or
Even
even
if
down to the
they don't know.
like bringing the flag to protesting, you're right, only black or only Negro, black, and colored people be writing signs and shit like there's some white people or something.
Yeah.
Like only white and black people do that shit.
Right.
Or people with no nationality. You know what I'm saying? It's true. Most nations when they protest, they just bring their flag and stuff.
Because you don't know where to go. You don't know who to write to. You don't know what to deal with.
Right.
You're just here in a law situation where, like the cows and them, whatever, back home and like whatever. You need somebody to guide you. So they're out here, whenever you see them, basically this is their chain, what they're wearing, right?
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, buddy, like get it together, and the people should get together and teach each other,
Right, we're gonna keep
Shit, we just put rock off the highway.
we're gonna keep stressing the fact.
It is locked up on paperwork.
They need some people first.
No, it's a paperwork.
On some paperwork.
That's how we do it. We don't need to lock it up. We lock it up with paperwork.
As far as Missouri is concerned or whatever, right? You have to keep pushing this name right here, Jerry Lewis Bay, right?
You see him, Jerry?
No, not that one. Right? This brother was a sheik in St. Louis in like the 80s, 90s, right? And he was known as the Bay of Missouri. That's how much clout he had in Missouri. Just this one individual. And in his sojourn, he met with Moroccan diplomats, U.S. Congress diplomats, diplomats from around the world. People come inviting him, come to wherever, right? So they trump up some charges on him, and then they arrest him, some RICO stuff, and he's doing life right. Right? Go to book in prison and all that type of stuff, right? Now, this is what the lessons that Jerry Lewis Bay had are lessons, from the prophet or whatever, which is what people need. Like the lessons that he has is what Noble Drawdy taught, right? And with him being in St. Louis, right? And people not recognizing at least this, then you see why we got issues, right? Dred Scott, same thing, right? Dred Scott's in that jurisdiction, same jurisdiction.
Missouri?
Yeah, that was the free state that he was
So
escaping
what's the
to.
Dred Scott thing about anyway? That he's trying to claim he's free or something like that?
Let's go. The Dred Scott case.
So he lost the case,
Yeah, big time.
It resulted in that no black man has any rights to that a white man can accept.
Oh, damn.
No black man has any rights that a white man
And why?
can
Because he went to court saying he's a black man?
So he went to court saying that he's Scott,
And he's a Scot?
that he's Scott.
Because he was a former
Because he went to
slave.
court
so
as
he
Dred
used
Scott.
so he used the slave master's name.
It said like a whole,
And he
it said like a
lose.
whole precedent for every
Oh,
black
shit.
person in the state.
It makes sense though.
And then you lose. right? So this is same book, Moore's Order of the Round Table,
What page
Civic
is that?
Lesson number 5,
Page 5?
page 31. Dred Scott versus Sanford case. The Dred Scott versus Sanford case of 1854 to 1857 confirmed the existing status of the Moors, now branded black, Negro, colored, Afro, etc., that the power of Congress to govern the territories was subordinate to its obligation to protect private rights and property, that slaves were property, and as such were protected by constitutional guarantee, that Congress has no power to prohibit a citizen of any state from carrying his slaves or any other property into any other territory, and that Congress has no power to impair the constitutional protection of such property while thus held in a territory. That's Scott versus Sanford. Nationality and status must be discussed and evaluated in order to understand this Supreme Court decision and the fact that it is law. The nationality of any people is the first issue at law, which establishes the identity, pedigree, birthright issues, and any issue at sovereign law in the national and international civic arenas. In addressing the United Nations in Convention of 1979 with International Rights of a Child, the international community of nations addressed directly with Principle 3 the issue of name and nationality. From the nationality of any people comes birthrights, sovereignty, and status. Birthrights are inalienable rights that exist at birth. Sovereignty is the supreme authority of any people to govern their own affairs. Nationality is the identification of the pedigree of any people. It lawfully ties any people to a piece of land and establishes in nature and in the divine order the rights to the resources of the land. Nationality lawfully determines the statuses of any people. Status is the first issue at law that must be addressed or considered nationally and internationally. It is the categorization of citizenship and non-citizenship with direct relationship to rights, immunities, and privileges. The following is the categorization of citizenship and non-citizenship that is first considered in the national and international arenas. So this is the outline of citizenship from most important to least important. Nobility, sovereign, free white people, 1. 2, foreign national. 3, foreign subject. 4, resident alien. 5, non-resident alien. 6, 14th Amendment, artificial person. So the first categorization of citizenship is nobility, sovereign, free white people. Right? So with one of the brothers had a question. His parents were married and became U.S. citizens. His dad is Haitian. His mom is from state of Massachusetts. What is my political status? So status being the first issue at law, and then he asks the question, can he be white? So status is the first issue at law. Right? Status of his dad is Haitian. Yeah. Haitian is the status of the dad, and state of Massachusetts, right, is the mother. Right? Well, that's me right there. It's all good. right? So, oh, you want to hit the light? Yeah, let's hit that light there. On the, yeah, right in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, good day, class. Hotep. Today we're just presenting an award to the Grand Chief Kufu Ado for his help, his love, his dedication and support to Canaanland, to brothers in California, New York, wherever it is. So today, all the way from Colorado Springs,
Oh, that's the
General,
that's the stuff he's been
General Bakari
beating you
Bey.
up about.
Peace to him,
Good
love,
Lord.
truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Today we hand Grand Sheik this award for all his dedication and all his love, man.
It's
Give
love.
a hand to
It's
Grand
love.
Sheik, man.
Let's put that up. Peace and love, give thanks. It's always good to, be appreciated. You know what I mean? It's always good to be appreciated. All right. So, the dad's Haitian. The mother is from the state of Massachusetts. Right? So we recognize that in the in analyzing, could he be white? Right? Right? Because the question is, what's his status? What's his political status? If his dad's Haitian and his mom's from the state of Massachusetts. Right? Now we already know that state of Massachusetts is a corporation. So his mom couldn't be born in the state of Massachusetts. Right? Dad's Haitian. Right? Haitian, fraud, the actual name, Haiti. Right? Now, Haiti is indigenous. Okay? State of Massachusetts Corporation is in so-called U.S, right? Which is, corporation again. So on the father's side, there's one level of fraud. On the mother's side, there's state level of fraud. Then there's U.S. level of fraud, right? Then there's USA, which doesn't really identify the nationality yet. When we go through all these, it's only when you get to under here that USA, that all these are fiction, right? And really, the brother's mom is from Morocco. And then, Haiti. And then the father is from Morocco. Right? And then we break that down further, Northwest Mexico. Okay? So his status, as far as it coming through the mother, right? He's Moroccan. And if he's Moroccan, that means he's North African. And if he's North African, when we look up the definition of free white people, it'll tell us in there that the North Africans can be identified as such. So yeah, brother could claim to be white. But it's a status, not skin complexion, nothing like that. So, you don't go around to common people talk about, I'm the white people, I'm the white man, and stuff like that. Because that's not, the jurisdiction of society, right, would be, because of the reconstruction of historical information, right, to say something like that today, you know, you're gonna get wrinkled forehead, people looking at you funny, you know, what do you mean you're white people or whatever like that, right? But from a political perspective, like when you see you go somewhere, somebody gives you a forum or something like that, right? From a civic perspective, yeah, we can claim that position as white, even on forms, applications or whatever. So you can get through faster because it's a status issue. You know what I mean? And depending on your status would depend on how they deal with you. You know what I mean? Because they know. Remember we talked about the 6 classifications. If you're not, there's no way that we're foreign nationals because they know that we're from here, right? They know that we're not foreign subjects because we're from here, and we're not subject to anybody else if we're from here, right? They know that we're not resident aliens because, again, we're from here. Even though they label us as Negro, Black, Colored, African, blah, 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 whatever, right? That's just a label, right? And then we can't be aliens if our rights are inalienable. We can't be aliens. We can't say, yeah, you know, we're standing up for inalienable rights, but then over here say that, you know, we're aliens, so we need to get naturalized. It's a conflict of law, right? Same thing, non-resident alien, you know, we know already we can't be that because of the alien. And 14th Amendment, artificial person, we know we can't be that because Joali said that the 14th and 15th Amendment is not necessary for the redemption of our people. So the only thing that's left is for us to be nobility, for us to be sovereign, for us to be free white people. And when we're sovereign, we're not saying that we're sovereign citizen either. Saying that we're sovereign and saying that we're sovereign citizen is like saying we're city of and saying we're whatever territory. It's 2 different jurisdictions. But they will try to tie Moors to the sovereign citizen jurisdiction. Just because we might use the term sovereign sometimes or whatever, right? So the brother's position is that he's Moroccan, his dad's Moroccan, his mom's Moroccan, and with regard to the follow-up question from somebody else, when you find this out, that you're a Moor, becoming a member of a temple or some type of indigenous body of active Moors, so that you continue studying, so that this doesn't become some stagnated position, like how, you know, when you talk about temple Moors or whatever like that, and Moors just in the temple, and you ask them about writs, they don't know about writs, they don't know about nationality, they don't know about birthrights, they don't know about, you know, challenging jurisdiction, they don't know about status, they don't know about treaties, they don't know anything to do with civics. All they know is, you know, go to temple, meeting, you know, 5 on left, 2 on the right, say a prayer, pray the noble Juali, Grand Chief come up, say some stuff, Grand Governor come up, say some stuff, everybody's talking from the Circle 7, quoting stuff, quoting this, quoting that, close the book, everybody take their fez off, and then they go back to being niggers. And then after, you know, then every Monday, Friday, whenever they got, you know, the day that they can be Moors, you know, then that day they be Moors. And then when not in the temple, then they don't be Moors anymore. Right? Churchgoers. Right? And in dealing with Moors, you know that from the door what they're dealing with. So if you say, well, I want to become a member, and you go to a temple and you realize that, well, you know, this is nothing like what I heard Moors talk about online or whatever. How come these guys just praying or whatever? You know, realize what it is for what it is, leave that one, and then you go to the next one and try them. Right? Yeah, it's real. Amari went to one in New York. When he went to New York. And you know, he walked in, you know, hey, Islam, everybody's whatever, you know, went about their business, you know, praying, doing their whatever, you know what I mean? Like literally,
So they're literally Muslims.
yeah, they're literally Christians.
Some Christians. Even worse.
They're Christians with feathers on, saying that they, Islam is their religion, and they have a prophet, but they don't know civics.
You guys like Christianity for
Like, yeah, leave Christianity for Christianity. But this is where Juali warned the Moors that if you're not careful, your own brother is gonna sell you out. So you guys play around like unity and all that stuff. But the unity comes from Moors who recognize what they have. The unity comes from, all of us in here having a situation with, everybody in here got a ticket. And everybody's fighting it, and we all have the same insignia at the top of our wrists. We all have the same nationality card. We all sign stuff the same way. We all have fezzes on. We all have turbans on. The exercise of our rights is based in the same principles, right? The customs that we have, like for example, like what you were talking about at the meeting. Instead of writing, I'm gonna stamp all rights reserved because that's a custom that we demonstrate. You know what I mean? That's something that's standard amongst everybody who says they're, Canaanland Moors. Hardly ever we write stuff. We put a stamp on it, right?
May I ask where you got the set?
It's all
May I
good.
ask where you got the set?
Actually, that's what we're discussing. You can order through all Staples have them.
Yeah, you can order it. You can order it on your own.
And you put the, because you can't just have the all rights reserved. You gotta have the UCC. There's
But if you have-
details that make a difference.
Yeah, if you have the stuff, right?
If you know what exactly you grab it, you can go to a Staples.
Yeah, you can go to Staples and just get them to write it
Or
out.
Mario, he's gonna, like, I was about to do one at Staples.
Right.
I was doing some extra research and I discovered that it was pay him with
Okay, that was
Because it's because I also think that what he does is that he gets them bulk,
yeah, which is
right? Yeah, he gets them bulk. So I don't know if the price is lower or whatever like that, but when he gets them, he usually gets like 10 or something like that, and then he'll just sell them, when people want them or whatever. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Stamps because instead of I had to write it out a couple times.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm getting kind
it
of
makes a
crazy
difference.
now.
Yeah, it makes a
And if you have
difference.
the stamp, it's more likely you're gonna put it where you're supposed to put it,
Right.
because you might forget. So after you did it already, you forget.
It makes a difference.
You
Having
can't
the
just sign
stamp
your name
opposed
and
to
then
writing.
go, here's one percent,
Yeah.
right.
Now you
Stamp,
just put the ARR.
you get a stamp, you got all rights reserved, and then
Yeah, because the thing with the because what if we it's just like if somebody says Ontario and then we say, you know what I mean? Like that it's not nothing, right? So same thing with we know what that is, right? Or if we do,
So this one I put this now, ARR, it's nothing.
it's not
it's an acronym.
it's an acronym for something, but it's an acronym, right? And I'm sure if you Google this, other stuff will come up with that.
And in
You
law,
know what I
it
mean?
might
Just like with this, you know what I mean? Right? Like the TDC, I know TD Bank has a TDC acronym. You know what I mean? For their whatever the C is. You know what I mean? Like they have so what we try to train wars to do is don't abbreviate anything. Even if it's gonna, you know what I mean? If you only got one line or whatever, then you use up here and you use down here.
So
You know?
I've done my own issue.
Right.
Top and the bottom.
Right?
Then
Because to abbreviate leaves room for somebody else to put their stuff or assume something or whatever. But then if we put what it is, then nobody's not going to be assuming anything. They're going to know exactly what we mean when we say it. You know what I mean? And then they could go check that out if they need some further reference. Because if we give them the ARR, hey, what's that or whatever, and they look that up online, You know what I mean? They can say it means anything. You know what I'm saying? So that and these are it's not a slight or wrong or whatever like that. It's just as we evolve with the info, yeah, things out here start evolving too. You know what I mean? As soon as you get more info, so you might have just went out there and just did this, right? Then you get more info, then okay, then you start doing this. You go to the next level, you start writing it up. You know, and then you get to the next level, and then you get your stamp, and you just start stamping stuff. You don't gotta write, you don't gotta write anything. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I'd be interested in this.
Yeah, yeah. Brother Mario said, not yet, right? Yeah. Um, can I claim white? Yes, you can. Can I claim Native American? Right? So, Native American. This right here, Native, is Native is a geographical or geographic description, not nationality. So this is generic. You could put, you know, European over here, you know what I mean? Right? Put Native, right? Native American, Native European, Native Australian, Native plant, right? Native whatever, right? So, and then when you know they're gonna let people claim this, but then when you know a Turk comes here, right? Who's saying his nationality American, right? Or you know, Chinese come here, right? They're saying, you know what I'm
And
saying?
you know what? I went to when I went to the army store to grab some stuff and grab some pins. There's no pin where it's just like a person's country, like a Chinese flag,
Yeah.
an American flag,
Right.
or a freaking Pakistan flag,
Right.
and the American flag. You know, like so that's you know, like people do that.
It's
still,
a
you know,
standard,
like,
yeah,
mhm,
yeah, it's a standard.
Exactly.
You know, they got they got the flag or
Exactly.
whatever.
That's how it always looks. Just
Yeah,
like
they got
that.
whatever,
Mhm.
you know, and because it's there's been communication with nations. Nations have been communicating forever, right? And remember that because of the corporate construct nations, right? They do these things to also legitimize themselves.
Want to unify.
Yeah, because remember, like if they show, for example, if they say Chinese American, right? They're gonna fly the flag of China and the stars and stripes. When they should be really flying this and the flag of China. If they're
That's true.
really
That's true. Yeah.
Chinese American,
Mhm.
right? But they're not taught that level.
They would be allowed to do that though.
Because remember we said, you know, they made the claim here too. They came over here on the Bering Strait
Yeah.
before the Europeans were here. You know what I mean? So they have a claim. Their claim might not be as powerful as our claim, but if they say that they're Chinese American and they have the Moroccan flag and the Chinese flag instead of the right, it'll be a whole different game. And if we say that with everybody, because we realize that everybody who's something American or something Canadian, right? They always rep that colonizer banner. Always.
There's a
You know
place
what I mean?
in Jamaica called Moor, Moorish Home.
Yeah.
Portmore.
Huh?
Portmore.
What's it called? No, a woman came to me the other day and she goes, "There's a specific place for the Moors now."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Moor,
But I was gonna say Portmore
Yeah.
and stuff, you know, it's called stuff like
Yeah,
that.
what other place like that? It's an actual place.
Crazy,
You
you
go
know?
to them and you go in and they have their own set of
And what did you say Jamaica's original name was again?
whatever thing, a native name.
It's not
Jamaica or something like that.
I heard it was with an X.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
an X,
X
right?
Y
Yeah.
X
But it
Y
can't be
A.
J.
Yeah,
It can't be J.
Yeah.
But it can't be a J.
My place is called Wadad.
something like that.
Antigua.
What is it?
Wadad.
There's a line there.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah. You know. I think we have the Spanish name, the names. The original names book should be up there. I think.
For each country?
There's a book up there for original names of each of the island.
I think Trinidad's original name is Shaletta, right?
Yeah, something around there. Yeah.
St. Vincent's original name is Hyrule.
Yeah. So once we get once you get to the names, then you can more distinguish the fraud from the organic, right? And then once you know who's who, then you start calling who's who for what they are. You know, like when people say they did it a lot in Hillary Colors 3. You know, but the Americans are, you know, abusing black people. The Americans are whatever. But the Americans are Moors. So if they're going to make the claim that Americans are abusing them, right, then but the people who are abusing them are really European, then that's them giving up their birthright. Because they're openly admitting. They're not saying that the U.S is the slave force. They're trying to put it on the Americans.
You know, we do that enough. You know, sometimes it feel like humans is destroying the planet Earth and stuff. You know, but it's like, we don't have no power to destroy the planet right now. We don't even own nothing. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Try to put your guilt on you.
And that's exactly what it is, right? Because if they're able to get the guilt off themselves on somebody else, then also what they get off themselves is whatever karma's coming.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now they're not responsible for karma no more. That's why they could just shoot somebody up on the street, nothing happened. Choke people out on the corner, nothing happened, because there's no the law of retribution isn't lining up with them. The law of retribution is lining up with us. Because we chose to be black people, that's why they're doing whatever. They're not doing whatever because they don't like us. Because we can go all over the world and see that they honor the Moors. Moorish flags, people got Moorish figurines and stuff in their house. Moorish chair, Moorish picture or whatever like that. You know what I mean? $50 million picture of a Moor, but they don't honor Moors. They don't respect Moors. One guy has a Cleopatra rug and all that type of stuff.
Sorry, there was a man in the, I think it was the 80s. Oprah Winfrey had a European guest on, and she just laid it all up.
I know exactly what you're talking about. But you know though why I never liked it though? Because she never said original people. She kept on saying people with brown eyes.
Yeah.
Remember that, right?
Yeah.
That's the one part I hated. The whole
Yeah.
was like, there's on an episode where pretty much a white lady, or no, a European lady came on and tried to show all the Europeans in the crowd that you guys, you know, we never did nothing. So that's how she's talking to the audience. Like, we never made nothing. We didn't create nothing. But instead of saying original people did it, but she didn't even say black people. You know, she just said people with brown eyes. You know, even a European person with brown eyes can feel like, oh, I contributed to this.
Yeah,
You know, like,
yeah.
But the brown eyes, the melanin.
but that
Yeah,
doesn't show you
yeah.
how show you how freaking Oprah is a damn agent for real though, because she can't even make the lady say original people or whatever, you know, like
Yeah,
you know what I'm
she there
saying?
like, oh
Like,
shit.
Right.
like she tried to be so politically correct and shit about people with brown eyes built pyramids and stuff like that. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's what she's trying to say.
Yeah.
But every eye have skin.
And you know, and it's also too that, you know, they have to they're constantly graphing themselves onto somebody else's stuff because they don't got nothing at all. Constantly attach themselves to somebody else's stuff, because if they don't, then everybody already knows that they're the outcast. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that they're the Frankenstein. Nobody don't want them around. You know what I mean? Nobody wants them around. But, you know, we accommodate them.
So how come no other country, or sorry, no other nations come and fight and bring down the U.S.?
Majority of them are allies with them.
Oh, the allies.
You know what I mean?
So that means they're
Majority of them are
enemies
allies.
to them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Right? Because when we look at like if we look at whoever,
I know China's down
anybody,
with the US.
yeah, anybody down with the U.S. today, it would be their enemy tomorrow. Because that's their, you know, how they got the credibility that they got is by making everybody their allies, even their enemies.
So Germany's a U.S. ally,
Yeah,
even though they went to war.
They're the one that started their whole,
yeah. Operation Paperclip.
slavery and all this stuff.
That's crazy though.
They taught them how to put people under slavery.
So Japan is allies with U.S. U.S.
It's crazy when you check
Oh, yes.
when you check out
American
the history of the U.S. relationships with other nations, right? You'll find out that they were crew with some people, and then when those people start warring, whatever, then they're crew with the other side. But they can't. Yeah, they play both sides, but they can't take them out,
Why?
right? Because if they take them out, then they're gonna have to put the gun to their head because they were allies with them. You know what I mean? And they're allies with them to make sure that we don't get our birthright. So they can actually get some claims or get some, you know what I mean? It's no different than you know, they're gonna say, oh yeah, we don't recognize the Moors and the Moors or whatever, you know, in 1492 those guys fell or whatever like that. But, you know, they're gonna talk about Turkey and Turkish Empire. No, Turkish Empire comes out of Ottoman Empire, which comes out of Moorish Empire. So like what are they trying to say? You know, no different than you know, black nobility of Europe is really the pale people.
But I know that there's a time in history when they had like a fez ban or something. Was that
Right,
like
exactly,
to hide their
yeah.
Moorish heritage?
More so to hide it because they're allies. So they can't be parading around with fezzes. They can't be parading around with fezzes, right? But then they're allies with, you know, the jurisdictions that make fezzes, right? You know, because remember during that time, you're looking at places like Pakistan wore fezzes at that time, right? And so once they get the fez out of circulation, everybody else who has fez as a you know, national headwear mindset, they're now questioning, should I really be wearing this? Like, what is this gonna cause me having this headwear on? You know what I mean? Same reason why they got the Congo rubber whatever.
Oh yeah.
Right? And they got fezzes in there, and then people always use that. Oh well, you see, look at the guys in the fezzes, and they sold their people into slavery and all that, cut off people's hands for rubber and all that, right?
That's a
Yeah.
scholarship.
Right? when that's not really what was going down. You know what I mean? That wasn't army of Moors that were going around. Those people worked for freaking Europeans. And what they do? Put fezzes on them just so that the fez could get some bad credibility. Because everybody knows the heights of the fez, what it means, where it comes from, who's the founders of it, who used to wear it. But if they can get people to believe that, well, you know, if people get people on that SETI logic, you know, if they get people there, then checkmate. Because people will give up their own birthright. They don't even need a European to, you know what I mean, make them give it up. They just send an agent out there to talk about, yeah, you know, fez comes from Turks and all that type of stuff, you know what I mean? So have a debate with somebody and, you know, start
You
bashing.
look at a wall on Kent, it was like, how do you even look at this man and listen to him? know. So
No, but I had my friends on and they said, you know what type of people it is? They go, Turkey. I go, well, you know who else? Morocco. They go, oh, yes, true, true.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow,
Right?
man.
But then, so
So people try to
it's really,
Hmm.
when we start exercising our birthright, it's really them testing, see if we're legit.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, you really,
Like
you
when
got a
they say
fez
nice
on and
hat.
stuff like, yeah, you
Like
know,
when
nice
they say
hat.
nice hat.
Like, oh no, sorry,
No,
this is
it's
not
a
a fez,
fez.
this is a fez.
Yeah.
Oh, no, and then they do you different. You know?
Yeah,
But if you say
exactly.
that's a hat and you go along with it, then you're like,
You're like, this guy's a fake.
this guy's faking.
yeah, yeah.
Who's this fake right here?
And
You know what I mean?
Different.
He doesn't even know that that's a fez.
I go,
You know?
let's look at it. I go, it's for me.
Right?
He goes, oh. Then his boss came over, he goes, hey.
Yeah.
That's from Turkey.
Everyone come up to me when I was on Paris. Even when I was on Takes It Down for all those people out there. Even though
No,
maybe
especially them.
it's mainly white people coming though. I can't lie though.
The guys,
Yeah.
they know.
Yeah.
Those who don't know what
They
they
know.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they don't think, you know, sometimes, yo, we had a European man's whole entire family. This man had like 3 youths. All of them coming, oh, I love that, that's right. You know, just teaching them and stuff, you know? So like everyone knows.
That's how real it is.
Remind them.
That's how real it is.
You taught us, we elevated us.
Yo, no,
We were stinking, we were eating.
I remember you from the cave, man. You came and helped us out.
We were nasty people, man. You cleaned us up good. Because we're the slaves.
Right?
From
And
Slavia.
what
Yeah.
all of them know is that it wasn't no Africans that got them out of dark ages. It wasn't ancient black people. It wasn't Sumerians or Phoenicians or whatever we claim that we are. It was Moors. Everybody knows that. Moors got the Europeans out the dark ages. You know what I mean? But we'll never go with that. And want to be arguing about how come we don't have unity and come on, let's bring out everybody together and meet. And then everybody comes together and meet and we sit around the table and then we discuss some stuff and then everybody leaves. Everybody goes home and nothing doesn't get done. Why? Because they don't status on the table. So what we talking about? If we're gonna meet, everybody, status on the record, bam, 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 we're all on the table. Whoever doesn't have no status, you have to get out the room.
Exactly.
Because whatever you say doesn't mean nothing in here. Because if we're talking about unity, if we're talking about bring the nations together, okay, well, all the heads of the nation come together. So we got, like the Moor Science Temple heads, the NOI heads, the Nuwapian heads, the black people heads, the black power heads, the black supremacy people, the chematologists, the atheist, whoever, anybody. If you're a head, come to the table so we can get this unity going on. All right, okay. We go around the table. What's everybody's nationality? Oh, well, we don't. Why is nationality have to be brought up and all this type of stuff? And we're spiritual beings and all this type of stuff. What are you talking about? You guys are talking about beast system out there is abusing you, right? But you don't expect to have a nationality to deal with them? You think that you're gonna go Super Saiyan to go take out this thing around here? There's no Super Saiyan going on. Half these people don't even know how to breathe properly.
That's true, yeah.
To reach a level of Super Saiyan, right? So when we recognize that it's hypocrisy, I mean, we can't be done with that, going down there, holding up signs or whatever, trying to be on camera and all that, because they already know they're gonna manipulate that stuff. There's not gonna be any real,
They're gonna write the headline.
yeah, they're gonna write the headlines. You know what I mean? Or not write them. You know what I'm saying? As far as there was one more to do. Okay, becoming a member of the Moorish Divine National Movement. In order to fully understand nationality and birthrights, it'll be good for people who haven't grasped this fully to do some research on Noble Drew Ali. Do some research on on um, the teachings of Noble Drew Ali, because the teachings of Noble Drew Ali are based in civics, right? There's a component of know thyself that's embedded in nationality. To know yourself is to know that you have a nationality. And once you know that you have the nationality, then your only other thing for you to do is exercise with it. Because you can't not exercise knowing that you have a nationality. You can't know that you have you can't know that you have been under colonization by a democratic force, but when they challenge you on things, you don't bring that up. When they say, hey, you owe, or you need to come do something, you have to challenge them on their position that they're claiming. If we claim to be, the highest level of citizen, sovereign, noble, elves, bays, and all that, right? Then there's expectations of us that people expect to hear, say, see us exercise. If we're not exercising those things, then, just takes a little bit of studying in the morning, no big deal, right? You just got to keep getting that information. Because once we get the info, automatically you're going to think different. Now, once you think different, you're automatically going to act different, right? It's just like, when we first come into the information and, you catch yourself calling stuff black and, saying, you know what I mean, nice, you know what I'm saying? And then as you go, you fine tune, and it's a constant fine tuning. You know what I mean? Constant fine tuning. Because once we start to tune ourselves in to more science through. All right, peace and love, family. All right, yo. Yeah. When we study what Noble Drew Ali brought and we digest it, then the information becomes ours, and we look at it different. We don't look at it like that guy up there is teaching me something I didn't know about that. Oh my God, I can't believe. You look at it as, oh, you just told me what I needed to know. Well, now I'm gonna take this, and for myself, whatever I got, I'm gonna take this and then do whatever I gotta do with it. You know what I mean? And once you do whatever it is that you do with it, you're gonna get some type of response from whoever you're dealing with that let you know exactly like what's up. Just like when you said with the feds, and then Europeans coming up, oh my gosh, you know about your culture and whatever like that, and you know what I mean? The surprise that you know, right?
It's like a frequency.
Right.
You study on that.
Tune yourself in, right? You line yourself up with that vibration. And once you're lined up with that vibration, people will see that coming. Fez, not whatever is irrelevant. You know what I mean? Because majority of people are very, 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 very well aware of who we are, of power that we possess, of impact that we have, are about to have, and could have on society.
I've been approached different various times, even before the feds and all these things, whatever, in that type of manner.
Yeah.
Still too, whatever, and I was like, but then before, I didn't really understand it.
Right.
Because it's like somebody, just like the guy said to me, he goes, well, you may figure this weird. And I was like, kind of, I didn't figure it weird, but still, at the end of the day, like, he had to approach it to me because nobody comes up to anybody just in that type of manner.
Right.
So I was like, okay, and I listened.
Yeah.
And it just came now to run into everything, all the information now. It's like it made more sense.
Realize what happened.
Yeah.
Right. And that's something that, like, those instances are for the Moor that's walked that path. So people would hear that, and then they would go out and expect whatever went down with you to go down with them because we're Moors. So whatever he did, if I just do that, then then everything's gonna work. But it doesn't really work like that because this is divine first. So you have to be in tune with what you say that you are. You know, it's like Moors who, um, know about nationality, but they never exercise nationality. They just know about it. But they've never applied this thing that they know called nationality. They never put on a nationality card and said, I'm taxes there, see what happens. You know what I mean? Just to see what happens. Because,
Even when you're
we're in a new,
president, you don't
place.
claim it on your income tax. Well, this is
No,
Yeah.
income tax.
Yeah, because we need it.
Yeah.
Right? You know? So again, just like that. Right? Hey, wouldn't you? And then when you start answering your own questions and all that, then you know that, okay, something's definitely turning around. You know what I mean? I don't have to, like, call Cujo every time and just find out about this thing or whatever. Oh, just look it up. It's right here. Like, you know what I mean? Right? And then that just comes with studying, because this information is everybody's. You know what I mean? Ours, European, they got it. They're using it. Mormon and all those people, they're using more stuff.
Yeah, what's
That's
the
more.
story behind Mormons, though?
Bad.
What is that?
Very bad.
And they
Mormons.
say that the God is white and stuff.
Mormons.
Oh, there's something going bad. Reveal that. Freemason started now.
Oh, Freemason started. Okay,
Right?
okay.
I don't know the whole story. I know a Freemason started it.
But they call themselves Mormon for a reason.
Mormen.
Right? Why are they Mormon? And then exercising stuff like what Moors should be exercising.
Like they do polygamy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. They got their own ranches and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's
so
still
they have their own
positive. They got
nationality.
their own licenses
But
and all that
Jehovah's
stuff.
Witness, they're not part of the government either, Jehovah's Witness are their own nationality. Well, not nationality, but like,
Nation.
they're not part of this, they don't
Yeah,
have birth
they're their own,
certificates
they're
and
their own
stuff.
colony. Yeah, they're
They
their
don't
own,
have birth certificates, they don't go to school, they don't do none of that.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But see now, why are they able to do that? Because the people who should be doing that, they want to be Negro black colored people and march picket. Instead of claiming all those hoods that they live in, right? All those abandoned stuff that they got, they've been passing forever, right? Abandoned stuff. That nobody's not coming for that. Abandoned. Window boarded up, door boarded up,
You're allowed to
and
take
people
those,
passing
you're allowed to
those
go in
back.
those?
Yo, it's abandoned.
So
No
why
different
didn't the Moors move to Detroit then?
No different than. No different than.
No, but why don't the Moors move to Detroit?
No, well, I mean, it's the same thing. Like why don't the Jews move back to the Caucasus Mountains instead of trying to take over freaking Palestine? You know what I mean? Like what? Why are they trying to take over Palestine? Why don't you just go back to the caves? You know how much room y'all got up there? You know how much land's up there? You know what I mean?
Shit is always there.
You're not gonna have no problems if they go back to where they come from. Other than it's cold or whatever. You might need the what do you call it? The mountain climbing stuff and all that.
And the spikes on the boots and
Because because before they just jump out the cave, roll down the hill,
First Moor Science Temple was in Detroit, right?
First Moor Science Temple was Chicago. First Canaanite temple was Newark, New Jersey.
That's Mecca. That's Mecca. Real Mecca.
So what about what we discussed earlier with St. Louis? What St. Louis was? No, not St. Louis.
Louis Vale?
No, not St. Louis. Sorry. Where you went the other day?
Milwaukee?
Yeah, the one,
Yeah.
Oh, you went to Milwaukee?
with the one order that's different from where the actual first temple started. And they were the original leaders. You said.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, you have Noble Drew Ali, right? 1929. And then from here, you have your factions, and then, like sub factions or whatever. Right?
Islam.
Okay? So, factions that go into, there's Moorish factions, right? There was NOI, okay? Whatever Christian and then don't forget NAACP, right? So in 1929, they have all these different factions that come about. As far as the Moors are concerned, they broke down into the Moors who stuck with Noble Drew Ali and what he was about, right? The Moors who sided with Kirkman Bey, right? Who was, just another Moorish adept, right? And then the other faction was
Resurrected.
the reincarnated or the resurrected Moors, right? So this is what it broke down to. The Moors who were with the Prophet, the Moors who were part of the Kirkman Bey faction, and then the Moors who were part of the reincarnated faction.
How do people even
That's the
that
breakdown.
still doesn't even I don't know how people can accept a man coming back talking about our reincarnated.
Yeah. But again, remember, we're talking about individuals who, blacks don't read.
But like even down to the people
Right.
following them, like, they never like. How could you really just
When you don't study, you fall for anything.
Follow somebody like that.
about resurrect?
Yeah.
That's some cult leadership, like Jim
Yeah.
Jones type of thing,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
Right? Right. So when you hear about the separation in the Moorish movement, or how come there's no unity, it's because of this right here. Those who said we're down with the Prophet, those who said that they're down with Kirkman Bey, and those who said that they're down with reincarnated prophets. That's why there's the separation. And then these guys are trying to prove that they're the legitimate, right? And these guys over here are trying to prove that they're legitimate.
And the resurrected guys are probably the religious Moors, right? Are those the religious Moors?
It kind of sways back and forth. Even there's some Moors that follow the Prophet that have that religious mentality. You know what I mean? But just to put it up there so that we can know that this separation is because of people who choose not to follow the Prophet. Like there's that road. And then there's everything else that people do that's not directly connected to him. You know what I mean? So it's not a sense of, there's no unity, so forget this, throw everything away and let's go do something else. It's about straightening up this mess right here. That was created because of Moors, not a European or nothing like that. You know what I mean? Moors just not getting down with what you're supposed to get down with. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you don't gotta try to be the number one and all that. There's one prophet, one temple. If we look at a grand scale, the one temple isn't the number one temple that people or whatever. The number one temple is the nation. And then there's one prophet for that. And if we look at it, if everybody looked at it like that, nobody's not saying you can't be Kirkman Bey or whatever, but just recognize that there's a superior. Nobody's saying you can't be reincarnated, but that reincarnated isn't the prophet. That's a dude saying that he's the prophet. That's not no prophet spirit going in a man and all that stuff. Like, that ain't happening. You know what I mean? Especially to no adults.
That's what
That's
I was
not
thinking too. Like a grown man, like
Grown man.
just woke up and said,
Just woke up, I'm the prophet one day.
reincarnated. Never even went through a baby or nothing.
Right. Okay. So the foundation of the Moorish movement is Noble Drew Ali. Don't neglect this man, because as soon as you neglect him, he's gonna make something go on because of your neglect of him to make you get back in line. You know what I mean? But that's like Moors who are on this level, right? That's like Moors who are here trying to um, convince me that we have to get down with this and because that's the home whatever, and only when you get to this are you going to be the home temple because you have to. But then the head of this temple is telling me that there's a lot more. Keep doing whatever you're doing out there. You get waking up the people or whatever. You're not talking about coming and joining nothing. Not talking you have to be down with this in order to be legitimate. Right? And like we're saying, the head of this is the elder. He's like 78 right now. So he's been through the whole runnings of everything. Family, mom, dad, uncles, aunts, grandparents were in the temple with the prophet. You know what I mean?
Just, like you say, Drew Ali originally from Carolinas, right?
Yeah.
So, I guess my question is, how did it happen that the temple was started in Chicago?
From
But he's originally from South Carolina.
He's originally from Carolina, right?
So why did he set up the first temple in Carolina?
Because he left Carolina.
So
He was
traveling.
traveling. And then when he came back, he settled in New Jersey. He set up the old Canaanite temple.
Yeah.
And then.
Was it him that started the one in Chicago, though?
Huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So when he went to Chicago, it's said that Moors chased him out of New Jersey at weapon point because of what he was doing in New Jersey at that time as far
Moors
as
or black people?
waking up the people. Well, because at this time, there wouldn't have really, it could have been Moors who were in the temple, you know what I mean, who were in the Canaanite temple that oust them, if you will, and then Chicago, and then when we went to Chicago, then everything branched off from there. And then other things to keep in mind is, like even though he was from Carolina, he never identified himself as Black, Indian, Cherokee, and none of that. Right? Never identified himself as the tribal name, Blackfoot or whatever. Right? And also too, keep in mind that why would he have the old Canaanite temple, right? And then come to Chicago and then say Moorish, not Canaanite anymore. Right? Like why this switch? Canaanite to Moorish. Because Moors are descendants of the ancient Canaanites, same people. So because they're the same people, it's
So
these names are synonymous.
The temple in New Jersey was called a Canaanite temple?
Canaanite temple.
Canaanite.
Old Canaanite temple. Right?
And then when you went to Chicago, it became the Moorish science.
Right. And then keep in mind too, old Canaanite.
Time period, I guess.
Right? Old Canaanite.
So what time period is that?
Let's say it's not the time period that people say that uses the cursed seed and all that. I know they talk about the Canaanites are devil child.
Yeah.
Okay, well, old Canaanite. Right? Just like they say, old Palestine. And they're talking about, going there to do stuff. Well, old Palestine. Right? Yeah, bro.
So Canaanite is synonymous with Moabite.
Yeah. Because
Because when I hear people talk about Moors, they say they come from the Moabites.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Egypt, the capital empire of the Dominion of Africa. The inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family were the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of Amexem, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between father and son. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa. They were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. Yeah. Right? So the Canaanites, Moabites, Amorites. There's some people you might want to look up. Amalekites. Right? All of them are also dark-skinned people. All of them are us. Once we say, scriptures, Bible, or whatever, we're talking about dark-skinned people. Automatic. Right? Anybody got any questions? No. No enough time soon. Anything for your stuff coming up? You wanna got any questions with? All right. All right. So and you could also get they got feathers on RV Bay now too. Huh?
Yeah, I seen that.
Yeah, you get feathers from RV Bay now.
You don't have to deal with
Mine's 8.
you don't have to deal with the other companies too.
Huh?
You don't have to deal with that.
You can. I mean, the other ones, the one Masonic spot that we use,
No,
Logger.
because the money situation was going differently than
Right.
what it said.
Right.
And then they add on another $30.
Oh,
for
the
the-
shipping
for the,
cost.
yeah.
Yeah, the shipping
For the shipping
was
cost.
expensive.
Yeah.
shipping?
No, for 35 for the feds, and after the shipping is gonna be $30. So
Yeah.
$29.99.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah,
So
64.
it's a total like $65.
And then if you go to RV Bay, you're paying I think 50 for the feds, and then $10 or $15.
So it's the same thing. So man, it's the same thing.
You know what I mean? It kind of evens out.
So is it one of the
We can't go down there?
Um,
Well, Lockers
Yeah,
actually
we tried to
Chicago.
do
You
RV,
can
yeah.
go down there.
yeah, you can go there.
Travel pick it up? Travel and pick it up?
I mean, get bulk.
If you're there,
it'd be so much cheaper to get bulk and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing too that you can look into also is fez makers.
Or get it sent
Yeah, look into fez makers too.
to
Wherever.
Yeah, they said
It's
there
fez
is none.
makers.
They said there is none.
Yeah.
I went to a thrift store.
There might not be none here, but
They're on the
yeah,
States.
there might not be any here, but China, India, Indonesia, whatever, where fez is still, I'm sure they make them. Also too, you can check because a few more. If you just ask around, Moors might have different links or whatever like that to get them.
Robes and such too.
Yeah. for the sashes and things like that, you can get those at Lodge. I don't know any Moorish temples or whatever that have those. As far as like the Moorish American sashes and all that.
Yeah, you're supposed to like dress a certain way when you go in court and stuff.
For court sessions, you know, respectable dress. You know what I mean?
Hands above your head.
Feathers up. Yeah. You know, yeah. There's no nigger stuff really. You know what I mean?
Put on a nice shoe.
If you're on a fence, as I'm saying, if you respect the nation, you know,
Yeah.
but you go through it as a whatever.
I mean, no Jolly said no one wearing fence, you know, trying to look the best too.
Yeah. You know, so it's a thing of you know, you have your own personal
Style.
dress up
Mhm.
style or whatever. You know what I mean? You do your dress up with the fez on. You know what I mean? Some people have
Yes,
their
when you walk in the first, that's all they concentrate on.
yeah.
The first thing they tell you, how come he gets to keep his head, brother?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's exactly what they're thinking.
And also too, remember that you can utilize if they're stressing national or national stuff or whatever, you can use religious too. Use religious
Religious
headwear.
headwear, yeah.
No,
So when you start to put your hand on the Bible or the Quran, what you just say
you just say that you're affirm.
You don't have to do
But you don't have to do it.
it. Even now you don't.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to do
Yeah.
it.
No.
Oh, okay.
You just tell them that you affirm, and then they'll take away the books, and then they just tell you, okay, I'm affirm then.
Affirm, proclaim.
Yeah, I think affirm they use mainly.
You refusing to hold
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you pretty much denouncing Christianity,
Oh,
really and truly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Which is not an issue because it's a de facto system they have going on there anyway.
Right. And you know,
Just
Drew Ali
intimidating.
told us give Christianity back. Um,
Leave it, is it?
Yeah.
yeah, give it back.
Why does Selassie practice that?
Yeah, he's the
I know he's more.
he's the sovereign of Abyssinia. So when he was coronated, all the rituals of the coronation were in sevens. Like everything that happened during the coronation of Haile Selassie was in sevens, in line with sevens. You know, and then you know that's the number of the Moors and all that. You know what I'm saying? You know the triple crown, the
When
feds.
he had the cross thing you have on and the star everything.
Say that again?
Did you see what you have on there?
Yeah.
That he has.
Right. Yeah. He has the Coptic cross.
Yes.
Right. They got their stuff.
Yeah, I know. What you're talking
They're Coptic, and you know, even too when you check the League of Nations records when Haile Selassie was when Italy was invading Ethiopia in the League of Nations it has him as Emperor of Abyssinia, not Ethiopia.
That's the truth.
To also prove the point of Ethiopia being the line that divided Ham and Kush, right? And the land is really Abyssinia. But then if they start talking about, Emperor of Abyssinia or whatever, then it kind of gives up the game. You know what I mean? About oh yeah, Ethiopia wasn't colonized or whatever like that, because that's the original name or whatever. No, it's not the original name, nothing. That's Abyssinia. And it got colonized, that's why they call it Ethiopia. But people are gonna try to justify Ethiopia's by saying it was never conquered or whatever like that, peaceful. You know what I mean? When Ethiopia been conquered, not nothing. Everywhere as far as melanin dominant people are concerned, has been colonized everywhere on the planet. There's nowhere on the planet that European didn't go there and set up something to try to take over.
When did they start calling Abyssinia Ethiopia? After the Italians came?
I think it might have even been after that UN, the League of Nations meet, because it started at that point.
The exile.
Yeah, once he's in exile, free reign for anybody to do what they want. You know what I mean? Because they know. It's not like they don't know that they're taking over somebody else's stuff. They know exactly what the hell they're doing. But they're taking the position that, if we don't tell and they're not saying nothing, then, whatever it is. Just like with our people. If they don't say, I'm not black, then okay, you're black. And we say you're black, Christian black codes, Negro acts, and whatever else that they want to use as the law against people. And they don't really have to be using that. They could let the people, make their proclamation and be free national beings again. But then if they do that, then all the Europeans have to go home. All these Moors start talking about, nationality and birthrights. They're now marching and picketing. They got fezzes and flags and turbans when they marching and picket. You see stuff changing ASAP. ASAP stuff will start changing. You know what I mean? Just because we see it with other people. You know?
Oh, no, I actually was watching. They started a movement, like a real satanic. You say? I don't think so. They said Rocky now.
I mean, you did have like
No,
some
man, they had
satanic type of music one time.
I wouldn't really call it that because what I've seen with them, I thought so at first too, and I never listened to them.
I mean, I met some of them still. I'll tell you straight. Half of those niggas are idiots.
But they look like they were on something.
Nah, man. I'll tell you what. I met the underachievers. Underachievers is a perfect example of people who say, yo, when you listen to music and you be like, oh, these guys have knowledge, this, that, and the third. And I went and shook these guys' hands to peace. I said, so, yo, you brothers have knowledge yourself. You know what he said? What's that? You see what I'm saying? That was the whole conversation, probably the only thing the man probably said, yeah, he knows about, is when I said Kemet. You see what I'm saying? From whatever lecture he wants to watch. Those guys don't have.
I watch lecture, I watch it doing the right.
No, I'm saying whatever whatever lecture they watch, like those underachievers are like pro era or freaking the ASAP mob guys.
It's like with
They actually are sons of Shabazz and all
Who?
that. What's the name there?
Joy Badass?
No, not Joy Badass. Started ASAP first.
Oh yeah, his dad is someone big in Harlem.
Yeah, Shabazz is his son.
Name says it all. Underachievers.
the name alone.
And they do nothing drugs and shit. You know what I'm saying? They're like
Underachieving. They're underachieving.
You know, so no people
But
think
so
that
did
they have
Old
knowledge
Dirty
though.
Bastard.
Pardon me?
Old Dirty Bastard did a lot of drugs over, and he had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, the difference with him is that he was legitimately an heir.
Yeah, so
To a estate. You know what I
Man
mean?
owned Manhattan. That was
Right?
his shit.
He was an heir. You know what I mean? That's why they took him out. So, yeah.
Yeah, like American soil.
To Manhattan.
Manhattan was his.
That's his family line.
Yeah, now that she.
But what was his tribe called again?
Now that she.
I can't remember what it was.
Now that she.
Is
What
it?
was it?
Now that she.
That's what it's called.
I can't remember.
Well, yeah,
But
he has children.
But
So
he
He
was-
said in the song, whatever. He said, I'm a now that she, then you're.
No, he said knowledge sheet. Knowledge sheet means he's a dark brother. He's dark in complexion. Because he's a 5%. That's 5%.
Yeah, that's
rhetoric. So knowledge seed means the first, so black. It just means like a dark brother. Then you have a culture seed, getting a little light skin. That's how. That's how the nation of God's on earth. That's their The way
They're twined.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he says it's Shinnecock or something like that.
Yeah,
That's
this
what he
is
is.
something.
He's
Yeah.
a Shinnecock Indian. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Shinnecock
I heard that
Indian.
too. I think I was watching the old bastard back.
Yeah,
in the
documentary,
day.
yeah.
Yeah, some native blood anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he's related to coffee. Someone coffee that gave cheap coffee or
Yeah,
whatever that
yeah.
gave away Manhattan
Right.
to the pale man.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So like he's a direct descendant of like some royal blood.
Like modern day direct descendant. Somebody who we can relate to, like really relate to.
Oh yeah. That's like the guy they found with the 70,000-year-old blood, and they want to keep him on the States not just because they found him. He was probably the next person.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah. That's the same thing. You know what I mean? But and the same issue that we come up to all the time is what are we calling ourselves? When they make that claim of, hold on a second, you are whatever. What are we saying that we are? As soon as we say that we're black something, done for. You own your property. And you know, property doesn't get no props or nothing like that. Property get burned at the stake or whatever. You know, hung by a tree, get shot up, dog eaten, fire hose and all that. You know what I mean? Try to fight for something, get nothing, and stick in that position. Don't change the position.
But not the civil rights and the
Right. You know? So that's about it. If anybody got anything else? Bring up or whatever. So we'll just close out. I want to say Islam till we had about 12 or something like that online today. So Islam to all the Moors. We'll just close out with the prayer. Chill for a little bit. 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace. Freedom. And justice. Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet.
Holy prophet.
Noble Drew Ali.
Noble Drew Ali.
Islam. Peace, Moors.
Thank you, Kujo.
Peace, Moors. Islam.
Make some more juice.
Yeah.